Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Vanessa and I am an indie author from Toronto, Canada, and I publish under the pen name A.N. Sage. I write YA fantasy, sci-fi, lots of mystery, lots of paranormal, and in this week we are continuing our plotting series. If you haven't been around and this is the first time you're tuning into the channel, first of all, welcome. Thank you for watching. Very excited to have you here. You should take a look at the rest of the videos that we had because it's like a full plotting series. And so we already talked about the preparation, we talked about character development, and we talked about Act 1 and Act 2. So we are talking about Act 3 today. So you might want to watch those other ones before so you're kind of like in the loop and keeping up with it. I will link the series either up here or somewhere in the description for you. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you feel like doing that, that would be awesome. So with that said, if you have been following along, we are into that's right, three. Last act. This is so exciting. Like if you've been plotting along with us and using the sheets, which by the way, again, as a disclaimer, there are free sheets that are available in my resource library. Everything in the resource library is free for you to download. You just have to sign up with an email. And so if you have those and you've been following along, then you know that we have the bulk of the book already plotted, right? Now what we need is the final quarter of it. So that's what Act 3 is. And like I mentioned last week, Act 3 is fast. Lots of stuff happens in Act 3. And so we're going to talk about it right now. So Act 3 begins with your reversal. So the reversal on the story embryo is your character now kind of starts going back to their beginning stage. It doesn't mean that they're becoming who they were originally, but they're kind of going back to that old world they had as a new person, right? And so that reversal is starting to happen where they're coming from this like upside down world. They're coming back into what they already know, into the familiar. And so the beats that are happening in this reversal part is they're going to gather their team. So now we had that moment at the end of Act 2 during the climax where they kind of had this like really low point, that the antagonist probably did something that made them feel like they couldn't do it. They reached deep inside themselves. They had their dark night of the soul and they're coming up like blossoming into a wonderful butterfly, you know? I am a beautiful butterfly. And sorry, it's Bug's Life. I just watched it again. So they are gathering the team because they have this like mojo. Now they have this like power now that they know inside of them to defeat the big bad, right? So they're going to gather their team and they are going to execute the plan. They're going to come up with a plan once they gather their team. So gathering the team could be a literal gathering the team. It could just be like kind of getting everybody together. Again, the plan could actually be like, it also called like a storm the castle. This is what you would call it could be an actual castle. It could be just like moving into the plan of how we are going to defeat the bad and save the day, right? So they're going to get their team together, get their people together, everybody from their B story, everybody they met during fun and games and everything. This is when your book kind of comes together. Whoever was there that you set up in your plotting to help this character towards the end, they're coming here now, like, right? They're calling all their friends, everybody that they've met, everything they learned, discovered. Now it's all coming to fruition because now they can execute this new plan that they've come up with, right? Now, it should be pretty easy. Sounds great, right? But this is a book. It's a story. It's not real life where you have a plan and a lot of times that plan does come true. Things are going to happen, right? So you're going to get something that's called a high tower surprise. A high tower surprise is exactly what it sounds like, right? They're in there. They're just like, yeah, we got this. We got the team. We got the plan. We're ready to go. And then something happens where, not exactly. It's a twist. It's something they didn't expect. Maybe somebody they trusted is betraying them. Maybe what they thought the antagonist was doing wasn't what the antagonist was doing. They're doing something completely different that they're not prepared for. But whatever it is, it has to literally knock your main character on their ass because this is something that they did not expect. So you kind of want to plan for that, right? You want to plan for surprises. Sounds foolish, but you want to plan for that surprise. And now we're going to have like another deep down moment. So during the dark night of the soul, I like to think of dark night of the soul as almost like they had that moment where they're ready, and they're just, yeah, we're going to do it, but it's not real, right? This part here, this is the part that's real. So what the power they thought that they had originally when they had the dark night of the soul, when they like fell apart and then kind of brought themselves back together again, that part was almost like false bravado, right? Dig deep down where they are now. That's when they truly, really get to know themselves. And that could be not just through their own help, but with the help of other people. So maybe that's the B story character. Maybe that's whoever helped them state the theme at the beginning. But in this part, in the dig deep down, that theme kind of gets restated here. So whatever that theme was whatever they were supposed to learn, they learn it here. This is the part that kind of makes them complete, right? We're looking at this. This is a reversal. And so they're coming back, but they're coming back changed, right? And this is the part where they realize just how changed they have become since they have left, right? Since the beginning. And so that's how I think about it. So that takes us to the resolution. So what is the resolution? So first plan, crap, right? Now we have to think of a new plan. But this new plan now is different because our character is now officially different. They understand whatever lesson they were supposed to learn, they have learned it. This is it. And so now they can more easily execute a new plan and really take down that bad guy, right? And that's all part of the resolution because you're resolving everything that happened. You're kind of tying up loose ends, right? And then you also have the final image. The final image of your book falls into Act 3. And the final image is very important because the final image is a mirror to your opening image, right? It's still like your character is now back. They could be back in their old life if they were, but they're back changed. They're back renewed. They're a different person. And so that final image and their world has to be an exact opposite to where they started. It's like magnets, right? Like you shouldn't be able to put them opposites together, right? They just need to not attract each other, push away. That final image, who your character is, who their friends are, how they feel about themselves, and everything about it has to be so different to the opening image. And so it's important now in this phase when you're plotting to go back and take a look at your opening image and see, have you changed enough for your character to make it opposite, right? And if you haven't, maybe go back through the plot and kind of like tweak some stuff so that you can come back and really realize that that is what your final image is going to be. That is who your character is going to be at the end. You really need to see your character in a new light here as they have seen themselves, and you need to show it to the reader that. Again, doesn't have to be a huge epic thing. Doesn't have to be like bells and whistles and everything. It could just be very simple. It could be in a sentence. It could be in a small gesture. But something here, even if you are writing, I should actually mention this. So if you're writing in a series, you might be wondering, like, how do I show that final image if I have other books coming out? But every book, even if you're writing in a series, I mean, yes, cliffhangers exist, but every book needs to have a story that fully wraps up. Otherwise, you're cheating your reader, really, in my opinion. And so like that final image needs to wrap up that particular story and that particular arc of your character in that story. And we're going to talk about arcs a bit more later on, like in the next video and that like wrap up video. But you need to really, your character here from the beginning to end needs to have a complete transformation, a complete story. And so you really need to work on that in your final image when you figure out what that final image is. Like it could be them like standing over the destruction that they've all caused and like deciding to build anew, or it could be like as simple as them going back to their old life and not hating it anymore because all this other stuff happened that makes them feel good about it, right? So whatever it is, just make sure that you have plotted in that final image. And with that, we are done plotting. I don't know how detailed you got. If you were plotting along, let me know how detailed you got as you were planning along with this, or if you just kind of jotted certain things. But I would really, really love to know that. That would be great because I tend to go very detailed when I plot this stuff, and then I add more and I add more. So I'd like to know like how much you had done. That would be really, really cool to see. So Anyways, with that, congratulations. You are done plotting your book. This is very exciting. Make sure you come back next week when we talk about the wrap up and what to do now that you have the plot for your book ready to go. Where do you move from here? There's a couple of other things that you should do, how you can tweak it, and just like all the different things. So yeah, this is very exciting. Congratulations. I'm so excited for us. I love plotting, clearly, but I really like going over the plot a bit more, and that's what we're going to talk about next week. So I'll stop babbling and I will just say goodbye here. I hope you guys stay magical as always, and I'll see you next week for the last plotting series video. Bye.